So, when last we left our intrepid heroes, Phil, Fall, and Rodnand, what was going on? We've got these guys into orbit in an experimental heavy lifting launch vehicle with no payload. And the launch, it seemed to go generally okay. We've made one kind of startling discovery that a piece of aerodynamic fairing that was thought to be part of the external fuel tank somehow in middle of construction got itself embedded halfway into this piece of fuselage here. And so it's maybe very subtly altering the aerodynamics of just this one section. Is that a big change? Is that going to be a problem for reentry? I don't know. I don't know what to tell these guys, Phil, Fall, Rodnand. I mean, we haven't tried doing a reentry on this thing without, a piece of aerodynamic fairing there. At least, if you're going to have a piece embedded into the chunk of your fuselage, an aerodynamic fairing would be a good piece to do that with. They took the time, whenever not recording, went and we circularized orbit, just because circular orbits are fun. We played around some with the RCS. This thing, it is very sluggish. It takes some time to roll, change directions, roll, pitch, and yaw with the RCS. This is not necessarily a bad thing. This definitely aids in being more precise in the various moves you want to do. You need to think ahead a little bit whenever you're doing anything with this vehicle. So now the next part of the operational test of the Rock. Here we are, Rock version 1. We need to do a re-entry. We need to do a landing. I want to try and do a landing back at Kerbal Space Center, mostly in order to avoid any issues with trying to touch this thing down on rough ground. Let's eliminate that variable. I'll tell you what, I want to wait just a little bit more, just as a kind of a blind guess. I want to burn retrograde right about here. Not say about around, about 3/4 of an orbit away from Kerbal Space Center. What's a good number to shoot for in this periapsis? How about if we drop it down to, let's say 40 kilometers. Previous experience with various kinds of space planes re-entering teaches me that might be a good safe number to work with. Okay, so just a few seconds more in this burn. Alright, it's just about exactly 40. If this works out, I wonder what would happen if we if we made the payload for this thing be extra rocket fuel, extra liquid fuel and oxidizer, and we tried to do a runway takeoff and tried to do a single stage to orbit from runway takeoff. I wonder, you think it could do it? I don't know. That might be something to try at a later date. It's just working re-entry right now. Here's, two Kerbals. They're feeling pretty good. They sort of looked like they kind of high-fived each other for just a second. Maybe not. Could be imagining things. Time compression, let's go. Going for a re-entry, guys. Alright, there's atmosphere. Alright, let's close the cargo bays. Point the nose down. For the first parts of this re-entry, we want to have the nose pointing pretty much directly straight ahead into the relative wind. What little relative wind there is up here. And I'll think about, once my altitude drops down to right around 40 kilometers, then we'll take a look at pitching back some, if necessary. Where are we relative to KSC? We're pretty much exactly on the opposite side of the planet, maybe a little bit past. Approaching that periapsis now. Look how slow our rate of descent is being as we approach our periapsis. Periapsis is actually increasing. Let's pitch that nose back down. So, okay, hang on. Kill time compression, because maybe things are getting a little bit nuts there. Yeah, let's keep that nose pointed down. Hey, sunrise! Yay! Yeah, I want to continue chasing that periapsis for now. So we may actually be doing things like pitching down slightly, which will cause, you know, the space shuttle purists to be just all kinds of upset. But, you know, it's we're trying to make a playable game here, you know. I'll tell you right now that my plan is, based on some previous experience working with these engines, once we get down below, say, about 20 kilometers, we're going to ignite those. You're going to start the engines up. We're going to see if we can throttle up and do some flying around, say, and aim for around 15 kilometers altitude. See if this thing can just cruise up at that altitude. I bet you it can. Yeah, I think I'm not going to use a whole lot of time compression during this whole first re-entry. So we'll probably end up editing it quite a bit for the episode. But I just want to kind of keep a close eye on the bird through the whole thing, you know? See if she develops any bad habits anywhere along the way. So far, everything has been just super smooth. No surprises, no problems, no glitches. And look how close our apoapsis and periapsis are going. I mean, we've got an orbit going in the, you know, mid-atmosphere here. It's testament to how streamlined the vehicle is. Just about everything that's facing the front end of the air is, you know, pointed and rounded. Did this big crater ever get a name? It's definitely a large impact crater. Maybe it's the crater of impact, whatever it was, that killed off all other life on Kerbin, other than the Kerbals and various kinds of trees and cactus. And grass. Well, I guess yeah. As time goes on, Kerbin keeps on getting more and more kinds of life. Okay, and that empath, I'm going to try and manipulate the angle of attack of this vehicle. I'm going to try to keep this point where our projected path intersects the surface. Going to try and keep that out here a little ways past Kerbal Space Center. That is my plan. Still lots of monopropellant. Okay, there's our rate of descent is down into the single digits. At this point, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of a climb going. Looks like we're almost there. Although maybe I was figuring that wrong. That's actually shortening my projected path even more. Okay, forgot the climb. Yeah, we can still fix that. We got engines. This thing's, once we get down to the thicker air, this thing's got enough fuel. I could just fly there direct now. Just take a little while. Tell you what, at this point, I'm actually going to, let's turn off those OMS engines. And we'll turn on the jet engines, which should also open up the intakes. You know, we don't have any real measurable intake air yet. Well, so far, I mean, as we're starting to get up into some, you know, our equivalent airspeeds, getting high enough numbers to start having some effective aerodynamic forces, the vehicle is not exhibiting any bad habits yet. Here at Mach 6. Appears to be perfectly stable. I don't even have any trim dialed in at all. Everything is just totally neutral. And the airplane is not wanting to wander around any. Okay, beginnings of some re-entry effects. What's our temperature now up here? Where to go? Yep, up to 400. This should be probably more over here, right? Oh, it's significantly more. Over 1100. That's right, those wingtips always cook hotter than anything else. Temperature holding pretty steady at that point, isn't it? Well, that one's climbing pretty fast. No, now it's decreasing. Okay, but still, it's not really getting any significantly hotter. Got this up here. Yeah, nothing is going much above 1100 degrees. And it appears if all my parts are capable of standing 1100 degrees, then that isn't a problem. Here we're coming up on 20 kilometers. Let's try throttling up, see what happens. Got fuel flow. Not making any thrust. No thrust. No thrust. No thrust, okay. Shut it down for now. We'll wait. We'll try it again once we get down to, say, like 17 kilometers altitude. Yeah, this airplane has not tried to pitch out of control or roll out of control. It's, as far as yawing, it's just perfectly straight. It is not exhibiting any bad manners. Let's try turning the RCS off, see what happens. So we're getting kind of lower. Yeah, okay, the ASAS, where it's pitching back more to hold the attitude as we decelerate, but still, I have not yet put any trim into this vehicle at all. Let's try throttling up those engines again. Oh, I hear them. Thrust. Good. Okay, we have thrust, so... And once we get down below, say, 17 kilometers altitude, they seem to work. Let's go full throttle. Why not? And see our airspeed still increasing. Mach number still decreasing at the moment. You pitch back some more. Can we go for a climb? Careful, careful, careful. I don't want to pitch back too much. Okay, those are really pulling some hard G's. Okay, let's add some trim to pitch back, because it's getting at this point where it's very responsive in pitch, like dangerously so. I mean, it's good to be responsive in pitch, but it's enough that I was scared it's going to break something. So we'll do trim to be a little more gentle about it. And there we are in a climb. Mach 2.8 and accelerating. Yeah, these engines are nice. Nicely powerful. Finally suited for this project. Turn the SAS off. And still no bad habits. It's being perfectly controllable. Does it sound like the engines are dropping off? And yeah, okay, thrust is dropping off once we climb, say, above 15 kilometers. So let's pitch forward. Let's try and just do like a maintaining altitude kind of thing. And descend some. Get back down there where the engines are strong. Trim forward some. And there's Mach 3. Nicely stable. We're coming up within visual range of Kerbal Space Center now. We're clearing the mountains. Yeah, maybe even do a slightly more aggressive dive here. See what is this high speed performance like at some of the lower altitudes, some of the thicker air. Yeah, I can see it starting to get hot again. There's some cool looking mountain ranges down there. I saw, well, actually, as I'm recording this, the official forums are down for maintenance, but I saw that there's these guys, they took the Curbtown plugin and they put like a whole aerobatics race course through the whole mountain range. I look forward to flying that, as I haven't done it yet. Yeah, down here below 10 kilometers, the airplane is still perfectly stable. Yeah, you notice I don't have any ASAS on. All I've got is just a little bit of backwards pitch trimmed in. Other than that, I have actually gone for quite a while. I have not touched the controls. And the plane just tracks perfectly straight. Sounds like engines are dropping in. Yeah, okay, yeah, engines are starting to reduce, getting to thicker air. And we're dropping this Mach number. Let's go ahead and slow down. Let's try and get this as we're in sight of KSP. Let's go subsonic again, huh? Okay, so here's the Transonic region, which quite often causes some issues. Let's just take hands off the controls, see what she does. There's a little bit of a pitch down. Oh, there's a large pitch up, which I felt necessary to correct for. And, okay. Unstable in the Transonic region, but it tends to smooth out just as you get below Mach 0.8. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here, this is our flight report with Phil, Fall, and Rodman are going to share with everybody. Between Mach 0.8 and about Mach 1.1, look out because pitch control gets really dicey. So it might be a good idea to leave ASAS on through those airspeeds. But, nothing broke. Did anything break? Nah, nothing broke. Come on. That's wanting to pitch up some. Okay, and here we are. It's being very sensitive in pitch at this point. And subsonic airspeeds. To the point I might want to think about toning that down some. Maybe make these two control surfaces, make them into just true ailerons, and leave our elevators as the only pitch control. Honestly, I think it may have too much pitch control. It doesn't need all this. Yeah, very, very sensitive to pitch. I believe at this point, the center of mass must be very close to the center of lift. And making it extra sensitive. Oops. Yeah. Okay, careful. So just try and keep the pitch just within a few degrees of the direction of travel. Here, let's go ahead and turn that SAS on. This is why I hate the SAS. Let's not be doing this flapping up and down business. Yeah, like I said, we're not going to use the SAS here because it flaps up and down wildly, and that's unpleasant, and I don't like it. Yeah, I believe that this airplane would be here at the subsonic stage, these relatively lower airspeeds. Well, we're still over 100, pushing 160. It may need more weight in the nose. And that would probably help. Let's go ahead and put that landing gear out at this point. What is this I'm seeing? Oh, do we still have my launch clamps on the actual runway itself? I mean, I was thinking about being all nifty and going for a runway landing, but now I'm choosing not to because I see all these marks that there's like debris up there. So I'm not going to do that. Alright, let's kill the engines. I'm going to go land over here instead. Okay, let's try and gently flare, gently bleed off some airspeed. Don't pitch back too much because we'll drag that tail, and that would be bad. Yeah, about like that. Oh, kind of a hard landing. Brake. No. Pitch forward, pitch. Forward, brakes. Pitch forward. Oh, nose down landing. No. Okay. Throttle up. Pitch back. That was bad. That was turning into a disaster. I don't want a disaster. Yeah, we're going to circle around. We're going to go around. Oh, no, pitch back, dudes. Come on. This would be easier with a joystick. I'll tell you that much. Let's actually, at this point, let's kill all trim. Yeah, kill all trim. circle around and do that one again. I really, really want this thing's first launch to be successful all the way. I know it can. Okay, okay, hang on. Stop, 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 stop. Careful, careful, gentle. Forward to throttle back some, so we don't need to be burning around 200 meters per second. A tiny little bit of trim backwards. There we go. Okay. One convenient thing about landing anywhere on Kerbin is there's no wind on the surface, so, or no wind at altitude for that matter, so you can just go and I think my second approach is going to be at 90 degrees to the first. We'll just land crosswise, and it doesn't matter. Okay, let's not take our time. I mean, let's not take our time. Let's not be in a hurry. Just recall that I've got all the time in the world. Why are we getting this wild pitch oscillation here? Stop doing that, please. I want you to be calm about this. Shot that throttle some more. Have to make just the smallest, slightest little taps on the pitch back key. Okay. Go for a flare right around here. Okay, and allow it to... No, nose down, nose down. Let's push on that. Let's start pushing brakes. Okay, good. This is working. I wish I had an arrestor chute. That would be very, very nice at this point. Nothing appears to be braking. A little bit of wobble from side to side. Bam! There we go. Okay, there's a stop. All right, that was kind of a more adventurous approach and landing than I was really looking for, but it worked, you know? Here, set that parking brake. Whew! All right. Phil Fall, yeah, give yourself a hand there, dude. Maybe Phil Fall was flying. Yeah, he seemed happy about it. But yeah, Phil Fall's smiling. Rodnan, he's just kind of numb about the whole adventure. Phil Fall does seem more adventurous about it, so that's good. Maybe that actually it's more likely if Phil Fall was the passenger. Rodnan, give yourself a hand. Yeah, I think he just did. All right, cool. Okay, so we're going to say the first operational flight of the Rock was just a complete success. We got into orbit. We flew around in orbit. We had control up there. We're perfectly stable, perfectly controllable through reentry, and then at high Mach after that, we're able to, super cruise, like Mach 3 around 15 kilometers, and have with still just tons and tons of fuel left inside. I bet you this thing, once we get down to 15 kilometers altitude, Mach 3, I bet you could fly around the world. You land, really doesn't matter where you re-enter, where you do your retrograde burn first, because you just, wherever you re-enter, you can fly back to Kerbal Space Center from there. Subsonic speeds, that is problematic. She's being difficult to pilot, being very sensitive in pitch, to the point, but I believe we can resolve this issue. First thing we'll do is we'll try to add more weight in the nose, and also another thing we may look at doing, instead of having these be I forgot elevons. Yeah, elevators and ailerons. We'll make these into pure ailerons and have these be our pitch control. These are various things we're going to do. Oh, and we're also going to take a look at what we need to do to make it have an effective payload. Hello, Rock. How you doing, man? I'm happy. Maybe look at having a way for these guys to get out. Nah, the ground crew will come with ladders and stuff. Okay, well, cool. It's a success. It's work. It's a flyer. Yeah, we'll see some recording here. We'll go back. We'll look at incorporating some of these ideas. I'll talk to you later. Bye.